destination is South Irving Transit Center. Please look around and
All right, isn't this a great day to be riding the TRE?
It is, especially for a great downtown event.
Like the Main Street in Irving.
All
The
right.
Main Street event.
Well, let's go check it out.
Well, hey, Bobby, how are you doing today? Good. What brings you here with your beautiful red car?
Bart Stevens is a friend of mine, and he invited us down. We're from Tulsa.
Okay.
Bixby area is where we're actually from, but Tulsa general area.
Well, very good. So we're having people come from far and wide. This is very exciting.
It is.
Great
It is.
car.
I hear this is a birdcage Maserati. What does that mean?
Well, it's just, they say that because there's so many tubes in the chassis that it just kind of resembles a birdcage, I suppose. This car is actually a special built
What does that mean?
Maserati. I built it for vintage racing. The birdcage design structurally is pretty sound, and so that's what I kind of use that design in the chassis. And everybody's confusing it with a true birdcage.
When I think birdcage, I think of it as being delicate.
Yeah.
Does that mean you
It
can't?
is pretty delicate. It's a very light car. It's
But you actually drive and race this.
yeah. Well, I haven't raced it, and I don't want to. I found out that it's worth a lot more money sitting here.
I would imagine.
Oh,
And
it's
that's why I
gorgeous.
trailer it around and come to car shows and things. I don't drive it much on the
It's
road now.
beautiful.
oh, wow. So Kelly has a question for you.
Yeah. You gonna let Robin and I get inside and drive around?
I think we knew the answer to that question.
Yeah, I did too.
Both
Thank
of you
you
are pretty
so
good.
much.
So, buddy, tell me about this car. Somehow it just doesn't look quite finished yet.
It's not quite finished. And this little dumpling is quite old. So you have to be real careful when you're restoring something like this. The metal's real thin on it. This car was originally built by a gentleman in Chicago, Illinois, by the name of Joe O'Day. And it was built back in 1938. And at the time it was built, it was the most expensive race car that had been built up to that day.
Wow, that's
And
cool.
numerous drivers, great name drivers, have drove this car. Joey Chitwood, that had the Chitwood Thrill Shows, drove this car. He ran third at Indianapolis in 1961. Just on and on drove this car. This was the most winning car in sprint car racing in AAA history. This
That
car
is
won more
cool. That's amazing.
races than any other sprint car in history. And this car belongs to a gentleman in Tulsa, Oklahoma by the name of Jack Hitt. I started rebuilding this car. When we first got a hold of it, it certainly didn't look anything like this. It was just a pile of rust. And so now another fella down here in Irving is redoing it. I got too old and too lazy. And you have to have a labor of love to do this sort of thing. And when they get through with this car, it's going to look like these other cars back here. And
My
this car
goodness.
will probably go in a museum somewhere, probably maybe up in Indianapolis where Tony Hallman has numerous race cars. And the history of this car has to be preserved and not put in somebody's garage and become a garage queen.
Yeah.
We're going to see that it gets a rightful place.
It's not drivable.
No, it's not drivable. It hadn't
Not
been
yet.
drivable since probably 1950.
Oh, wow.
Was the last time that it run. And it was wrecked in a race, and then it ended up in a junkyard in Fort Smith, Arkansas.
Oh my goodness.
And Mr. Hitt kept driving by this junkyard, seeing this car was painted black. It had a number 1 on it, sitting in this junkyard. So he finally went in to talk to the people, and the fellow that had owned it had been killed in a race car in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and his widow didn't want to sell it. But he kept pestering her until finally she said she'd sell it. He had no idea what this car was when he bought it.
Oh my God. A lot of history.
Set in his yard at his place where he keeps his cars in the sand, and it was sunk down in the sand. I drove by there one day and I got out and I went in and I talked to Jack and I said, Jack, do you understand what that car is out there, who that car belongs to and the history of that car? No. He said, I just bought it. I'm going to make a super modified out of it. I said, oh, you don't want to do that?
Wow.
Let's,
if this car can talk,
let's restore this. Now, this car is all original. It's just like it was when it was built. The wheels, the wire wheels, the body, everything on it is original. The springs, the rear end, everything is original. It just needs to be some TLC and put back like it originally was. Originally, the car was deep maroon, and it had number 1 on it.
Oh, that's wonderful.
It was the most sought-after car to drive if you was a race car driver in AAA. Now, it still has a AAA decal up here on the...
Oh, it sure does. So it needs to be in a museum.
It's going to go. It'll go to a museum. It will.
Good. That's wonderful.
All of these cars that you're seeing here, the Miller car, and all these cars are cars that have history to them, and drivers that has history to it. I was fortunate enough that when I started racing as a sophomore in high school, I was able to run with Billy Vukovich and Jim Bryan, Bob Schweikert, and on and on and on. And so I feel I'm kind of dinosaur type person now, but I feel so privileged to have been able to compete and run with those fellows. And I love coming around these places and looking at these old cars and talking to beautiful women. And
so what brought you here is the joy and the love of
Well, you're pretty cute too.
Well, and it still makes you feel like you are somebody, you know, even the racing history.
Apparently.
But my wife, she won't go with me anymore. She said, I've heard those stories. I'm not going to go with you anymore.
You have fresh airs here.
Looks like the fun is seriously in motion, and we haven't even started yet. So big thanks to Bart Stevens, who organized the car show. I had no idea there was so much history involved in antique race cars. All right, so if it took that much to put together the car portion of this, there's bound to be a ton going on to put the rest of the show together. So I'm going to go and find out. I'm a woman on a mission. So Mark, the word is out that you are one of the hardest working people out here today because you've got to provide electricity for all of this.
Well, I think that's an overstatement, but
I think you're being modest.
it's not that big of a deal. The parks guys that are in charge of this pretty much set it up. All I'm doing is plugging people in. That's all I do. But
I don't want to be the one over there with the equipment and such, plugging people into an electricity kind of a situation. So what all do you have to have out here with you? I see you got a great big old huge bag of tools back here.
Yeah, we got to have some tools, got to have a meter, got to have an idea as to what everybody's hooking up. And I mean, there's 240 volts, there's 120, there's lots of appliances, lots of cookers. And we've already had some breaker tripping issues, so bottom line is, you got to stay on top of it.
Yeah, that is the bottom line, isn't it?
That's it, that's it.
So, estimating, how many generators do you need? How much stuff do you need to make all this happen?
Well, there's already some service here. There's, like, where the clock tower is, where they're having the car show, there's already panels there. There's a panel behind this stage, and there's a panel behind the stage, the main stage.
Oh, okay, good.
So the generators just supplement what's happening right here on Main Street. And also there's a lot of outlets that are already in place.
Can I just say that's kind of smart design? Somebody had a good idea?
Oh, yeah. Apparently they've done this before. And
yeah, not their first rodeo.
There you go.
Well, have fun today. I don't know if it means that you'll have to, once everything's set up, if you get to just relax, or do you have to stick around for more breakers?
I don't know. It just depends on how much is cooking when they're ready to go. And it depends on what trips out. So that's what I'm here for.
All right. Sounds good.
Thanks,
Mark.
out of here.
So you're the go-to man, Brian, when it's time to get sound on these stages out here. And you have been for a long time. How do you keep yourself looking so young?
It's hard. It's a lot of wear and tear on me. It's not all there.
I think it's happening. I've known you for just about the entire time you've been working for the city, and this has been your specialty. What does it take to put a huge event like this together in terms of getting ready for all the entertainment?
A lot of manpower, a lot of time, a lot of prep, and then, you know, people out here in the parks just working hard, but most of all, organization prior to the event to get everything right. And then contacts and other departments pitching in for all of that, and knowing the bands.
Well, yeah, that's true, because you don't know what they're coming in with, then you won't be prepared, right?
Right. They can bring things that you're not expecting, then you have to get that worked out.
Okay, I've got to ask you that question because you opened the door. What's the most unusual thing you've had to mic for sound?
A circus thing that a gentleman did who had puppets. He had puppets up there.
Okay.
And he did like a Michael Jackson impression and a lot of little entertainer impressions. But it was very good. It was very good. But it was really hard to mic up.
Yeah, that has got to be a huge, huge challenge. So at the end of the day, when everything is over, you're also breaking all this down?
We break it all down. It's probably about 4 hours to turn it all down.
All right, so give me an estimation. I know you got to get here mighty early to get it set up. How long a day is a day like this?
About 17 hours.
Okay, that just made me tired. It just made me tired thinking about it. So, all right, so I'm gonna leave you alone because I know you still have more to do.
We do have a lot to do, but thank you.
So Karen, I know you're with corporate communications for Irving. How does that fit into the recycling here today?
What we're going to do is we are in community outreach, and we're giving this a big opportunity for us to talk to residents as they come through the festival today about what their recycling opportunities are in Irving. So if they have questions about recycling, we can talk about that. We're also looking at composting, some of the classes that we offer, and then we're also doing our lawn survey today, and we're tying that in with our stormwater program.
So that lawn survey, I've heard there's a community survey going on today. What is that?
Yes, it is. Now, the city of Irving belongs to the North Central Texas Council of Governments, and all the cities in the region are conducting a single survey that has to do with lawn care. What we're doing is asking our residents their level of knowledge about where those lawn clippings go, where leaves go, and what we're trying to do is give information about keeping it out of the stormwater system. And that's to keep our water clean.
Interesting. Oh, great. Great idea. Very good. We'll have to pick up one of those surveys. Thank you so much,
Thank you
Karen.
very much.
Very
Thanks
informative.
for stopping by.
It looks like there's so much going on in this area. What is all this area about down here?
This is called the children's area. We're going to have 5 bounce houses. We have 2 giant slides. We have a rock climbing wall. We have a bungee jumping. And then we're also going to have for the little kids, a little castle for them.
Oh, how
so they
fun.
can really,
Wow, you really put a lot of thought in this, and it looks like there's a lot of manpower here. What type of preparation did you put into this? How long have you been working on it? And
We've been working on it for about 6 months. We do have a team that consists of that kind of helps coordinate this event going on. It's a lot of manpower that goes on putting on an event like this. Absolutely.
Wow, well, it's fantastic. Looks like a lot of fun. Can Kelly and I slide down a slide?
Sure, once we get everything set up, y'all can slide down.
All right, we'll hold you to that.
All right.
Kathy, you know, all of the preparation that's gone into all of this today, all the seeing behind the scenes, the parks, everything everyone's done has made me work up an appetite.
Yes.
And the smells are unbelievable.
They are. I'm thinking
Corn dog.
Yeah,
let's go.
good plan.
We're out.
Hello, how y'all doing? Are y'all really here to help?
We're here to help.
We have extra hands.
All
What do you
righty
have for us
then.
to do?
If somebody could go ahead and fill up the Pepsis right here. And also
Not a
over
problem.
here, I need the grease. We got to get that hot for the corn dogs and french fries.
He really does have stuff for us to do.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I'm trying to
Serious,
put up the light.
All righty, so this is the grease that needs to
Oh,
go
no,
in
no,
the...
no, Miss Kathy. Not with your back.
Okay.
Here, I'll do it.
All three of these.
Richard, you want me to fill this to the top?
Yes, go ahead and fill it to the top. We're going to ice it down. Just leave a little room for the ice.
Okay.
Pepsi and water. Everybody love it.
All right.
What do you think? Over the baskets? Yeah, how
about
much?
half full. About
About half full. Okay, is that half?
Yes. Oh, that's a little more than half.
Oh, okay. Then you better give us some instructions because we're getting a little crazy over here.
Yeah, a little less than that.
It's getting warm. Everybody's going to want to have a cold drink.
There we go.
Beautiful job. And you know what? Since you did all that work, I think I'll come and help Kelly. But you know
Well,
what?
I got an easy job.
You've been coming to this event, I mean these events, this
Right.
one in particular, but city events for quite a while.
Right, about 7 years I've been coming to Irving events, the Christmas tree, the 4th of July, parade, and this Heritage or Main Street Festival last year, and it was great.
Yeah, so you did have a good time last year?
Oh my goodness, yes, we was really full, and the weather's even better and cooler this year.
I know.
So that's why I needed these extra hands to try to hurry and get ready.
Well, get on in here, Kelly, because do you know that Richard comes all the way from the Houston area?
Wow.
Yes. But I still love the Cowboys now.
Okay.
I still right.
That's
I still love the Cowboys.
Yeah, that's
But
right.
yes, this event is very good. The people spend money and it's just great. I've been coming for like I say, 7 years, just 3 events a year. I'm here 3 times a year in Irving, all the way from Houston.
So what does it take to get ready for an event like that?
Oh, first of all, I got to have good help. I brought my brother this time.
Hey.
He lives in Then I have a cashier coming. And then all throughout the week, especially if you're doing something else, you got to get the sausage on the stick. You got to get the corn dogs. You got to get it frozen. You got to fill up all I got 8 propane tanks here. You got to get that done. You got to make sure all your pits and things are working. And you got to check that and make sure it's clean throughout the week. So it's a lot of behind the scene things going on. Oh yes, oh yes.
Is that in addition to your full-time job?
Yes, it is.
Whoa.
Yes, yes
So
it
then
is.
you hauled it all up here?
All right, we pack it in a trailer, we haul it up here, and we unload it, and voila, we're just waiting for these great Irving people to come on down.
Well, I see a grill and a deep fryer. What are you serving today?
Oh, we're doing my famous pork kebabs. That's my #1 seller, the pork kebabs. That's boneless rib on a stick. And then we're doing the foot-long corn dogs, which everybody loves corn dogs, especially with the fair coming to town. They can come get a corn dog here instead of fighting the fair. And I'm also doing sausage on a stick and cheeseburgers. Right.
Great. Yeah, we'll be back as soon as you get
Well, y'all come on. Oh, and when I get finished, y'all not going to stay and let me get finished?
Oh, yeah, that's right. We got to go put some sodas up.
Oh, okay. All right, well, thanks a lot. Oh, they're almost ready. They're cooking. Yeah, perfect. Look, how many of these you got?
I have seen so many great looking cars out here today, and this car show is just huge this year, isn't it?
It is. It's amazing how many people have found out about this and want to get on board. And it looks like a lot of people are arriving now. They're about to open up and get going.
Yeah.
A lot of people.
Gonna be a great day. And yeah, you're right. They're already here. It's amazing.
Oh, yeah. Well, think about the city employees who have been here since the crack of dawn. Thank you so much to all of you who have been here preparing and getting this ready for us. And it's time to have some fun.
I am with you.
Yeah, let's go.
So we'll see you next time on another Irving Living.
First
Yeah. Oh, I bet. I bet.
Oh, yes, I know.
Thank you.
Yeah, we did. And we're not going to let that move us tonight.
No, we'll work it off.
That's right.
I'm gonna eat it.
Corn dog for Kathy. Cheeseburger.
TV crew, we got TV crew.
I know. I'm
just
loving
gonna
this.
leave it.
Hey,
Just
hey.
leave it in knowledge that I have jokes to say.
Yeah, I'm not
Don't point
saying.
that thing at me.
Looks dangerous, doesn't it? Oh, that's true. Yummy.
Rock and roll.
That was fun.
Where's Tom?
Where's Tom? There he is.
Yeah, that was awesome.
All right, so we're starting between the blue car and the gold car, and we just sort of keep panning our way down.
Yeah, to try to weave into the sun.
Ah.
Try not to get into shade too much because you'll be dark with a bright background.
Okay.
You're going to be following along.
I didn't want the whole crew to leave us. I was going to say, I didn't want them all to leave us, just a little separation. It's like they all left.
Well, we turned around. You guys were coming back this way. I was like, oh crap, they're coming this way. Guys, hide, guys, hide, guys.